fun goodies. Check this out. Isn't this so super fun? I had never seen anything like this before, and I saw this at the Craig Bachman warehouse sale in Frankfort, Illinois. I picked up 2 of these actually. I have 2 in black and 2 in orange. I already used one of the orange ones for a wreath with a cat on it that I'll show you at the end. But today I have this orange one that we're going to make. And I've been racking my brain trying to figure out what on earth I'm going to use this for. Until I saw that I had also bought a fuzzy bat. Isn't he cute? He is so cute. So we're going to use this furry bat attachment. We're going to attach it right onto here, and then we're going to make a bow. So this is going to be something very, very simple. Now, I did get this at the Craig Bachman warehouse sale, but I did check, and DecoExchange does carry these. Take the price tag off. So DecoExchange does have these for $28 a piece. But it's really fun. It's definitely something you don't see every day. So I think it's worth it. And it's really cute. And I somehow want to wear this as a hat. But we are going to start with our bat. So Mr. Bat here, he has, one of his wires came out. But I'm not going to use these wires. I'm going to end up using my own because I want them longer. So I'm just going to pull this right out of the back. So the back of him is felt. So this is a felt material. And the front of him is, I guess it's like that furry material. I've seen like the furry ribbon that people get, and it's almost basically kind of like wrapped around that. So it's like almost that furry ribbon. Not these. I'm going to use these. I'm going to try to get this wire off because I'm going to put my own on, and it's going to be longer. This is what I did. Last night I had one with the black cat. This time I'm using Mr. Bat. So what I'm going to do is, so you see right here, this has to be our center point because it has the ribbon. So we're going to attach right on the bottom. Now how I want to do this is, I could put them in the middle, right? But I'm going to have a bow. And the bow is going to be kind of larger. And if I just stick him in the middle, then it's going to be like bow, bat, and then nothing on the bottom. I'm going to move him down a little bit. I want the bottom of his butt. Do bats have butts? I don't know. His bat butt. I want it to just kind of rest on that because that gives it a little extra support. And then I'm going to add wires on either side of his wings. And now we're going to wrap that. I'm going to try, if I can, to puncture it through the wreath and kind of bring it around so it kind of like goes through a wing, kind of comes around through that, and then I can kind of tighten it here. So there'll just be one wire on either side that goes across. We'll see if that works. So for right now, what I'm trying to do is, figure out where I'm gonna do this. So I have my 22 gauge floral wire. This is green. I just wanted something dark. I could use silver too, but I'm going to cut a nice long piece of this. I'm probably not going to use it all, but I want to have a lot to work with, okay? So, I don't know, this is probably about 18 inches. Way too long. I didn't need that much. But I'm going to figure out where I want to start, and I think, I'm going to move this to the side. I think I'm going to kind of pierce it right here. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to kind of pinch it together so that I can take this wire, which the end is kind of sharp, and I can pierce it right through the fabric. Now it took me a little while to do this on the other one because it's, you know, it's a little thicker, but I'm in through one side right now, okay, and now I'm just trying to come out the other side. Perfect, excellent. So you can see I just put it in one side and it came right out the other side. If your wire's not sharp enough, try cutting it at a little bit of an angle. That might help. But what I'm going to do now is kind of give it a twist it like twice, just to make sure it's not going to slide around. Actually, I want to make that a little bit tighter, a little bit tighter. So tell me while we're doing this, I want to know Father's Day, what'd you guys do? Aria and I were with my dad yesterday. We saw my dad. She had slept there the night before, which was really nice. He got to have her for a sleepover. And then I think more nice for him, I came and picked her up and took her home out of his hair. So it was a nice day. I brought over a pizza and a little cake. And we had that. It was just a very nice low-key Father's Day. My daughter had a bit of a hard time last night, though. You know, we're missing her dad. You know, we lost her dad. So that one's been hard. So yesterday was a little difficult for her. But she got through it, as we always do. It's not easy. But we do what we can. This one does not want to go through, so this might take me a moment. Sometimes I find if I pull the fabric up and away from the foam, the foam filled inside, it goes through a little better. Here we go, and it just came out the other side. Awesome. All right. This is going to be kind of a quick project today, guys, but this is meant to be something nice and quick. And again, you don't always have to use like a furry wreath frame. You could do this on any kind of wreath frame, but this is just helpful to kind of show you how you can rewire some of your own, if you got like a fuzzy attachment or something that you find that's not designated as a wreath attachment, but you want to put it on something. If it's got a fabric back, if it's like a stuffed toy or something like that, you can do the same thing. You just go right in there with the wire, right on through, and then twist it, and it's on there. As long as you've got enough fabric in here, at least, I think I've got about a good 1.5 inches on that before I pinched it. Here we go. All right. So now I'm going to make sure, because that has to be my center point where that ribbon is. I got to make sure that I've got that on there and that everything is situated properly. So I'm going to put his little butt is just a little bit of a divot. So that's about how much room I'm leaving right there. Okay. That looks good. Just bring it around. Now I'm going to start over on this side. I'm going to try to just take this right through the whole, this is a styrofoam base underneath here. So I'm just pushing that right through the styrofoam. There it goes. I don't feel it coming out anywhere. I don't feel them coming out anywhere. You know what I think I'm going to do, actually? Because his wings go out and extend over, I think I can just take the wire and wrap it around. And I think that's actually what I would like to do in this case. So I'm going to bring that wire all the way around. Yeah, because you know what? The fur covers it. The fur is covering it nicely. So I am just going to pull tight, and I'm just going to wrap the wire. So I went around the back. Now I'm kind of, you see I'm twisting it over here on the top. I do not want to have my twisted part of the wire, like where the wires meet and twisted. I don't want to have that on the back of this wreath because that'll make it lay unevenly, and also it might scratch the door, and we don't want to do that. So I've just done this. And you can hardly see that. See that? It's hidden by the fur. Hidden by the fur. All right, here we go. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Let's see which wire is longer that I can pull up a little closer. I'm going to actually undo this one a little bit. I'm going to give myself a little bit more room on one side. So I'm going to pull this. Because I ended up deciding not to go through and not to puncture the styrofoam. There we go. I'm going to go one more. All right. So I have the long one going on the outside, coming around into the center. I want to make sure, though, that I've got my placement so he's not crooked. So there's my center. I have to move this down. Make sure he's level. I could always do it on an angle if I wanted to, but I don't know if that would change the weight and then maybe make it hang more to one side. So I want to keep it as level as possible. All right, I think that's good. So I'm bringing this in. And I'm going to pinch this right here on the inside. All right. Excellent. And it goes really quickly. I like using the plush wreath attachments. And they do sell kits that have, you know, I've seen clowns, I've seen Santas, elves, lots of different types of ones. Some of them are really heavy. I wouldn't advise using that type with this particular foam wreath. This wouldn't hold up very well, but this bat, he is super, super light. Wait, I gotta make sure I can see his eyes. There we go. All right. So this is how we've got him. Okay, he's hanging. This is what you see across the back, just completely flush. All right. You really can't see any of the wire, especially on the outside. It's very well hidden by the fur. There we go. All right, now we're going to make our bow. Super, super easy. All right, here we go. I'm getting out my Design Pro, Easy Bows Design Pro. All right, now we are going to have a couple different ribbons here. Let me take some of this out. This is the main one. I do have this ribbon available in my shop, Sweet Ari Decor. I think I've got 5 spools, but look at this. I'm in love with this ribbon this year. I've seen it before in years past, but I really like it. But it's got a bat. It's got a bat. So this is going to be one of our ribbons, but this is going to be the very bottom ribbon. And I like this one. This is also in a 1.5 inch, so we're going to kind of bring that pattern back on the top. But this is really nice, and like it keeps its shape. This is a stiffer ribbon, which is nice. That's why I like this idea for the base. Okay. And then we have stripe, and then we have orange bat. If we're gonna have a bat on a wreath, we have to have a bat on a ribbon, right? And then we'll finish it off with that 7/8 on top. So let me move that to the side. I'm gonna start with this one. Now, this isn't gonna be a huge bow, but it's not gonna be a skinny bow either. I'm gonna call this a medium bow, okay? And I think we're gonna have our tail start at, we're gonna have our tail hitting at 8 inches, okay? Which means our first loop is gonna be like 7 inches. So here we go. I've pinched and twisted, so I have the back side of the ribbon facing me on the left. I did it again. All right, I put it upside down. All right, this loop, there we go, sorry. This loop is gonna be 7 inches, so I'm gonna kind of push down. I'm not gonna flatten it, I'm just gonna kind of see where it rounds itself out around 7 inches. You know what, maybe, you know what, I think I'm gonna do 7.5. I'm living on the edge. I'm living on the edge. I'm crazy today. All right, 7.5. And I'm pinching and twisting the right-hand side. Bring this over. And I'm going to have this loop hitting at 7.5. A little bit over. There we go. All right, pushing it down. Okay. Now I'm going to cut this just a little past 8 because I need to dovetail it. So I put the wired edges together. See, it's like a taco. I'm cutting from the inside out on an angle. Yay! And there we go. And I'm putting, my loops are opposite each other and my tails are opposite each other. So I will pick this up and show you, oops, where we're at. Hold on, this one's unruly. Let me put the pin back in it. All right. Okay, here we go. And it looks like that is our first layer. Okay, oops. Sorry, I brought my pick machine over. We're gonna need to put a pick in it. All right, now, this is that, it looks like a satiny, it's a polyester ribbon, but it keeps its shape really nice when I've used this in other bows too. So, now this is directional ribbon, so I could go that way, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to start over here. I'm going to do this layer backwards so that I can check the direction of the ribbon and I don't have to do it upside down. So I'm putting that one up here. Now this one is like hitting at 7.5 because the other layer was 8. All right. Sometimes I got to take it out and do the pinch and twist. It just lays better doing it that way. Okay. So now if that loop was 7.5, we're going to do this one at like 7. Now this one is upside down, so I'm going to have to work my little magic. And we're going to have to pinch and twist that little loopy-doopy. All right. I'm going to pinch and twist it after I get the other one made. So that was at 7. If you have to twist it and pinch it, make it a little bit longer than you want it because it's going to take up a little bit of that length when you have to do the twist. All right. Okay, 7.5, so I'm going to cut that there. Ooh, I'm cutting off the cat's tail. Anybody ever feel bad when like you cut through a pattern and like you cut something off of like an animal or something? I feel bad. I'm like, I'm sorry. I hope you didn't feel that. All right. This loop, I'm going to pinch and twist, okay? So it's facing the right way. Here we go. All right. Here we go. Now I'm going to lift that up and I'll show you what this layer looks like. Ooh. There we go. So this is what we look like right now. Okay. Now we're going to put on our first 2.5 inch ribbon. You know what? I think this one needs a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. Sorry, I just want to make sure everything's laying in the right location before I add more layers on. All right, I think that one might have to be shortened a little bit. But we're going to use, for our bottom 2.5 inch, we're going to use the stripe because this is the one that I really want to have the most visibility on is our bats. So we're going to do this with the 2.5. I don't know why I'm not there. I'm finally seeing comments. There we go. Justin, Leslie, hey. How's it going, Justin? Your trip to Gatlinburg looked so fun. Did you see that over, I guess it was over Memorial Day weekend, I think? Dolly was there. She showed up when they opened up her new exhibit. That must have been so cool. That would have been cool to see. Here we go. All right, now this tail is hitting at 7. And that last loop hit at 7. So this is going to be a 6.5 inch loop. Zoom! There we go. There we go at 6.5. And 6.5. This is going to be kind of a large bow, but we do have a lot of space at the top of this wreath to work with. So I think we'll be okay. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with this fuzzy wreath. I was like, what the heck am I going to do? And I realized I didn't want to glue a whole bunch of stuff in there, right? Because I don't want to cover up the really prettiness of the wreath. Like it's so cute and furry. It kind of reminds me of a Muppet. I don't know why. Reminds me of a Muppet. All right. So now we're going to move on to our bat layer. All right, here we go. Na 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 bat ribbon. Ooh, sorry. I think that's telling me not to sing. All right. So now I've dovetailed it. So I'm going to start with my tail on the other side this time. So if this tail hit at 7, this tail is going to hit at 6.5. I'm going to pinch and twist out here. There we go. There we go. So then this loop is going to be 5.5. Because that was, or no, that was a 6.5. This is going to be 6. Sorry, 6. I was wrong. It's 6. It's 6. You know, I almost want to have another 1.5 inch, but I don't know. You know what? I'm going to come in a little bit on this one. A little bit more. There we go. There we go. I still can't believe I'm doing Halloween stuff and it's hot as blazes out here right now. Yesterday, I was driving back from my parents' house and the little thingy in my car said the temperature is 100 degrees. And it was sitting outside, so I don't know if that was the heat index or what, but it was as hot as the devil's nutsack yesterday. That's my favorite saying. Very, very, very hot. But alas, I decided it was smart to jump in the pool and try to clean the pool. I wasn't enjoying having fun in the pool. I never do. Every time I'm in there, I'm always cleaning it so it's clean for the kid. So that was, you know, it was all right. It was a day. I think I'm going to go this way. Here we go. Loop up, tail down, tail up, loop down. Okay. Now we're going to come in with the 1.5. Again, this is a repeat pattern of the one that we had in the 4.5 inch. But sometimes I like to do that because it kind of pulls it all together and makes it feel a bit more cohesive. Only if I happen to have the same patterns, which sometimes I do. All right, so this tail is 6.5. Now this one, I think I'm going to make this one a little bit smaller. We're going to do, I think we're just going to do like a 5-inch loop on that one. Yep. Just because I really don't want to cover up too much of the bat. The bat is so cute. I guess I'm going batty for bats. Maybe it'll come to life and turn into one of those sexy vampires from Twilight. Woohoo! Yeah. Yeah, no thanks. Although when I was pregnant with my first child, I did for some reason have, I don't know why, but I loved going down like the aisle where they had the raw ground beef and just smelling it. I never ate the raw ground beef, but it's funny because I had such a thing for the smell of raw ground beef. And that kid grows up to be a vegetarian. Like, yeah, I don't know. Did I have a hand in that? I don't know. Probably not. All right, so now we're going to use our 7/8. This is our last layer, and I like this one. I got this at the Craig Bachman warehouse sale. But you can probably try to find this like Craft Outlet. So this has an orange border on the outside. Now this, I don't like to dovetail this one. I like to just cut on an angle. Because if I cut 7/8 inch and I dovetail it, it ends up looking like it has like fangs. And I don't want that. We don't want that. So here we go. Putting this one in. I would say this loop is going to be probably about 4 inches. A skinny 4, but 4 inches. There we go. This one will come up and out. And I cut that on an angle as well. There we go. All right. So now I'm going to take a pipe cleaner and a longer zip tie because I've got 4-inch ribbon on here. This is going to be a thick boy, okay? So I am going to pull my hand underneath. I like to wiggle it up just a little bit, enough where I can get my hand under the bottom. And I push down on the top while I'm pulling up from the bottom. I'm squishing together, squishing it like a sandwich, right? No, I don't want any of my layers of my BLT to fall out. So I'm going to just quickly just lift up that index finger and put the chenille stem right behind it. I'm going to put the zip tie, it comes out, see it's coming out between my fingers? And then I just slip it right underneath my thumb. Hardly any movement at all. And bring it around. Okay, so it is secure, but I'm not pulling too tight yet. I want to make sure everything's where I want it to be. So I'm going to do a little bit of, I guess I call this a pre-fluff. Just because it's easier to kind of move things around now before I tighten it too much. These pinch together, these loops, and then you don't really see the zip tie. Move this up. Okay, I think we're good. So I'm going to give it the final pull. I don't know if you could hear that, but I love that sound. I should do some bow making ASMR for all those freaky people out there that like the sound stuff. Oh, I ran across one on TikTok the other day that was she was like, had the ice cube in her mouth, and she was like tapping on the microphone. I'm like, that annoys me more than anything in the world, but I couldn't stop watching. It's like some mental thing. Oh, it's horrible. What are you doing, Linda? Ugh. All right, so let me move this off to the side. We are done making our bow. But Linda, how are we going to attach this to the wreath? I am so glad you asked. So, I do have, we've got a zip tie, and I could wrap it around. Actually, that might actually be the best idea. I think I might do that. All right, you know what I'm going to do? That I'm going to make it longer. I was going to use my pick maker and glue it in, but you know what? I don't want any glue on this. So here's what I'm going to do. I undid my chenille stem. I'm going to add another one onto here. Okay. Just making it a little longer, because I want to have a lot to work with. Okay. I'm still going to twist this. So I made this kind of a longer one. But I did want this, I wanted this one longer for a reason. Okay. So now I'm checking the direction, making sure that it's not upside down. Mostly checking on this black one, the satiny. And you know what? I think this one is a little long. I'm going to give this one a slight trim just on this one tail. Oh, there's my kitchen shears. I was looking for these yesterday in the kitchen. They're not ribbon. They're not crafting scissors. I don't know why they're in here. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the long one, wrap it around. Okay, put my bow on there. Now, because this has a loop here, the ribbon, I'm going to bring it through here because I want to make sure it stays centered. All right, so that's coming through there. And I'm just attaching it. It's coming right up the center. All right. Now I'm just going to scooch my bow up a little higher to make sure that it's the height I want. It is. And now, I'm just going to twist these nice and tight. And I'm just twisting it and twisting it. Okay, see, I'm just twisting. So it kind of makes one twisted solid piece, okay? Then I'm going to take some of the excess. We don't need all of that. I'm going to snip it off. And then I'm just taking the extra portion and just bending it back down right underneath the bow. Okay. Now we have our bow. Okay. Alrighty. So here we go. We got our bow. It's on there. It's not glued. If I wanted to, if I noticed this was going to the side or something, if this were more floppy, I could add a little bit of glue back here, like underneath some of the tails, to make sure that it adhered. But quite honestly, this is on there. This is on there good. It's not going anywhere. And I don't want to mess with glue. I don't think we need glue on this. So, so then now it just literally hangs just like that. And here we go. So here is our cute little bat wreath attachment on a fluffy orange wreath. So let's go over cost. So I got this cheaper because it was a Craig Bachman, but this is $28 at DecoExchange. I could not find this wreath attachment anywhere specifically, but you can get fluffy wreath attachments. So let's put a value on it of $15. So 28 and 15, we're talking 43. And then the bow is probably maybe, oh, we'll call it 8. So maybe 51. So we're talking about $50 to make this. I probably will list this. I'm probably going to list this maybe for $79. And because, you know, took my time. And plus Etsy gets their cut. And plus I have a sale in my shop. So I also have to figure, you know, I've got 20% off in my shop. So I'll have to adjust it that way, but here we go. So again, here's the wreath. Here's the side. So in terms of depth, we're talking about, I would say 6 inches deep. Yeah, maybe 7 if you go to the very top of the loops. And then this is the back. All right, but I like this. I like that you can still see that it's round. I wanted to have some space in here. And I like that the bottom of the bat is down. I mean, you could always move this up if you wanted to, but I wanted to make sure that the tails did not hit him in the head. And one longer tail, I sometimes like to put it just a little bit behind the head so that it kind of looks like it's, you know, I don't know, it blends a little bit. It blends. So anyway, here is our design for today. I'm probably going to be doing a lot of Halloween over the next coming ones, but I got to show you something real quick. Okay, I'm going to show you 2 things, so don't go far. So actually, I'll just show you the one. But I got this at Joann over the weekend. It's completely empty, but I have this big giant styrofoam block that I got too, and like some pool noodle stuff that we're going to build this up, and I'm going to make this into a ginormous Halloween arrangement. So I'm not sure when I'm doing that one. This might be a nighttime one, but I'll definitely post about it way ahead of time and have this as a scheduled live so you don't miss it. But isn't that cool? I mean, it was 40% off. What was he? Okay, he was 50 bucks, okay? The planter was 50 bucks, but he was 40% off. And then I had a $10 off coupon too from my rewards. So I figured I'd do it. But I'm really excited for this one. It's pretty cool. All right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Hold on a second. Put him down. Thank you again for joining me today. And hopefully this heat doesn't drive us batty. But thanks for watching. And you can check out my shop at sweetredecor.com. All right. Happy Monday, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe. You can shop my store at sweetredecor.com, and you can follow me all over social media.